When I was in kindergarten, I had a huge crush on the boy I carpooled to school with. One day, when we were lining up to go out for recess, I decided it would be a good idea to pull down his pants. Unfortunately, his underwear, accidentally, ended up getting pulled down with it. He ended up in tears and I wasn't allowed to go out for recess. I would chase them up the hill at recess and tackle them to the asphalt so I could kiss them. My kindergarten teacher had to call my parents for a few talks about this. And, I am female, in case anyone was wondering. I was playing in a sandbox with a boy I liked and decided that the best thing to do was to dump sand on his head. We were in kindergarten. It didn't work out in my favor. My elementary school crush ate paper, so I would draw food on paper and cut it out and then he would eat it. But it didn't work out because he liked another girl who was probably a total bleep. A friend of mine went on a school trip to Toronto. They stopped halfway for lunch at a truck stop. Before getting on the bus to head out, a boy pulled my friend away from the group and explained that he liked her, then told her to close her eyes because he had a surprise for her. It was a tomato, half-eaten, taken from a burger he had just moments ago. It was in his pocket for the remainder until he gave it to her. I never laughed so hard in my life. In the first grade, I received a phone call from another girl in my class. Through hysterical giggles, she told me that, "Anonymous has the hots for you." I second-guessed myself at first, convincing myself that it was a prank call in response to my social awkwardness. However, I had my suspicions from that day forward. I noticed that the kid spent most of the day staring at me from across the table, and I eventually developed a crush as well, although I was too shy to act on it. At the late 90s. In second grade I convinced all the girls in my class to start liking this one kid. Then I went up to him and told him that fact and tried to convince him to pick one of us, specifically me. I would also hold his hand in class by grabbing really tightly so he couldn't get away. I'm pretty sure I was overly attached girlfriend when I was 7. His mama loves me and still says hi to me when we see each other around town. Actually, I just remembered another story. In 5th grade this kid liked me, so his friend sent me a note in class that said he wants to get bleep with you. Yup. In 1st grade a boy stuck a peanut up my nose ... cause he liked me. In 5th grade we would have long discussions with our teacher about what it meant to go out, and we weren't allowed to do such actions in his class. I remember he caught a note between me and another boy and then we had to have the discussion again. Only this time he used us as examples. It was so embarrassing. We still went out, just didn't show affection in class. I used to go up to girls and just make out. Teachers didn't like it and told my parents, but I was too young to understand what I was doing wrong. I remember this one girl, Maggie. We made out behind the couch in kindergarten for what seemed like hours, and when it was nap time she'd always lie next to me, but this other chick, who only gave me pecks on the cheek, also wanted to be next to me but didn't like Maggie. She asked if she could use my toothbrush. I preferred Maggie, she's definitely a natural freak, just like me. When I was younger I was incredibly shy and slightly withdrawn. So whenever I had a crush on a boy, I'd ignore them. I wouldn't speak or approach them unless they came to me first. I continued this behavior until I reached the age 16 mark, then my confidence rose. I don't remember treating any boys in a weird way, but I do remember something weird a boy did to me. We were in grade 3 and he sat in front of me. He turned around and offered me his pencil. I said I had my own, and he stabbed my hand with his pencil. We both started crying, and he was yelling, "I'm sorry. I like you so much." I had to go to the doctor to get the end of the pencil pulled out of my hand, and I still have a small scar. In 2nd grade, during recess, I would catch one of many wasps flying around a garbage can in my hands, grab them by the wings and chase my crush around the playground. For those curious, it never worked out in my favor. As for treatment I received, one girl used to run around trying to kiss me on the cheek and wrote a letter to me saying she wanted my bones. This ended up in a teacher conference between the girl's mum and my mom, as the letter was inappropriate for a first, second or third grader to write. I don't remember the exact grade, just that particular